It, it's YouTube, babies. So I was just gonna like bring this up because you and me both like talking sports and watching people talk sports, and we also think Skip Bayless is stupid. So, have you heard about the this YouTube channel called Jubilee?
I have not.
So, I it started off because like it was a lot of like fitness thing where it's like fat person versus fit person, and they'd have discussions. And then it started being like and I have like these round table things where it's like a conservative in the middle and like 20 liberals surrounding them, and they'd all have different discussions. And then you find out like people that are fanatics about their political party, like no matter which party they're in, they're just child. Like they're just
Hmm.
children. It's terrible. But and then they also do the opposite where it's like 20 MAGAs versus one liberal, that type of shit. But they had one that was kind of new because those politic ones, like you watch them, you're like, I hate both of them.
Hmm.
Like that's how you kind of leave it. But this one was Skip Bayless versus 20 sports fans. And it's awesome. Like it's genuinely really good because like he's being like unlike he is on his TV shows. It's just like you're like, oh yeah, there's a reason why this guy has been on TV so long. Like he's being very articulate, very smart, and he's like actually listening to the people, and he's like going back and forth with them and being super respectful. I'm like, how is it this guy that screamed my turn" at Shannon Sharp is better than all of the political ones? Like what is going on here?
Did anybody like stump him or whatever they were aiming to do?
I mean, not really. There's times where because like he does a really good job of like picking his thing. So it would be like I think LeBron is grossly overrated, blah, blah, and he's not the GOAT, that type of thing. And so then like he could then just point out the things where like LeBron's choked. And so like people would still like their opinions kind of stayed, but it's still like and there's times where he's like, yeah, I'll give you this because like when LeBron, I think it was at '07, went up against the Spurs with like nobody, and Spurs of course swept him. Skip was like, and he's like, yeah, I'll give you that. Michael was never able to take a team of nobodies to the finals. I'll give you that one. But then,
Hmm.
like, if you look at when he was in the Heat and he got beat, when he choked, choked, like, and like, when then the time Ray Allen saved his ass because if like Ray Allen didn't hit the clutchest of clutch shots, Spurs would have more rings, like that type of thing. I'm like, but yeah, no, I mean it's enjoyable. The downside is it's an hour and 30 minutes and I still haven't finished it. So maybe it gets really bad, but so
Right.
far it's not too bad.
Okay. Sounds entertaining enough.
Yeah. And like I said, if you want to just watch train wrecks, watch the political ones because that's all they are.
I'd
It's
rather die than watch those.
yeah, because I was at first I was like, this could be cool if you get two like level-headed people, but it's like no, they chose the worst humans. It's just like it's like watching Shannon Sharp and Skip yell back and forth at each other because that's all it is. They're like, no, 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 blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, this isn't a debate. You're just yelling.
Didn't Shannon quit or something?
Yeah, I think they like Shannon got really pissed off at Skip and like the way it sounded like he was about to beat his ass. And because like Skip said some stuff he shouldn't have, and so then like I think Skip got maybe he even got dropped, and then Shannon left. And then Stephen A, who's making like fuck you money, is like, why don't you just come over here, Shannon? He's like, okay.
Well, I'm sure Skip can probably just retire and be good.
Yeah, and he's like, I didn't know this, but he mentioned he's got his own YouTube channel now. So it's given all of his LeBron hate there.
And well, sometimes he deserves it.
Yeah. And then and then I also on YouTube, since I like enough Top Gear shit, it's now being like, you should watch Clarkson's Farm. And it's been showing
Hmm.
me clips of that. And I'm like, I shouldn't because just these clips are giving me anxiety. With the
Hmm.
like I saw one clip where they had rented this thing to help pick blackberries. Have you seen that? And
Yep.
it's like, okay, and then like for those that haven't, there's a stone fence. And so Clarkson has his guy drive along the fence and straddle it with this thing that they've rented And those stone fences are so old that when they were put in, they're not straight either. So he's having, and he gets the blackberries, and Clarkson's and like, oh no, the fence goes all the way through the blackberries. We didn't check that beforehand.
Yep. Yeah, it makes I think you should because I am curious if if the stuff that they bring up is like genuine concern or if they're just fudging it. Like I have no doubt that the rain there fucks them hard.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like the thing is too, is like a lot of stuff that really seems like it fucks him over is government stuff. And we don't have that near as bad here as it
Mm,
seems like he does. And then I don't know how much he farms, but it sounds like he doesn't farm a lot, like in comparison to people around here do. Because it's
yeah.
like he mentioned something where someone said 500, they're like going to turn something into a 500-acre blah blah blah, and he's like 500 acres. That's more than the farm. So it's like I don't know how much he farms, but he's doing a lot, like, but he's like doing a lot more to try to make money off of it
Yeah.
than what we do, because like, we just do beans and corn. He's like doing cows and trying to do the restaurant, and then like the pigs, and then
The
even he had
shop.
yeah, the shop. He has like the peppers that he's growing and stuff. That's not even like garden stuff. Like that's actually like monetary way of doing
Hmm.
stuff. So it's like he has to do a lot more because it's a smaller area, but. Yeah, I'm just like I was just watching it, and like there was one part where he got the new cultivator and it was too heavy for his machine because he didn't have any front weights on it. I'm just like, Lord.
Yeah, but at least that is like Clarkson, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're not fudging this. That's absolutely something he would have done on Top Gear.
Yeah. And I saw one where like they had a thing for demonstration, and he fucking I just it was just a clip of like what happened after, because it's on the reels, and like he just fucking it looked like it was a kind of like a disc that, and he fucking broke it. And he was like telling the guy like, "Oh, can you weld it?" And he's like, "No, and this was for demonstration."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so there's three seasons out, and I think the fourth one's out next month. I I remember I haven't seen season three because I remember when it dropped, I kept seeing stuff that was like, if you really like pigs, maybe be ready for some not great stuff to happen
Oh,
to the
okay.
pigs. And nothing, it was just like, I'm pretty sure like a bunch of them just like get sick and die or something like that.
So I can
But
tell you what happens because I saw the reels of that too. If you if you want to hear.
I mean, I will watch it.
Okay.
It's just whenever I heard that at the time, I was like, where I'm at right now, I don't need that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
like it's one of those things because like I was never alive for the for our family having pigs, but like the I guess the little piglets will get really really cold, and so like Dad would always say like when they had new piglets at the farm, they'd be inside next to the stove, like they'd have them in all in a little box right by the stove.
Yeah, man. I mean, whatever works, right?
Yeah, I'm like yeah, I know you didn't know my grandparents very well, but like my grandma was such a clean freak. It's like, man, how did she let literal pigs into her house?
Yeah. Probably just spent the whole next day scrubbing it top to bottom.
Probably.
Yeah, it's definitely an entertaining show. And like his right-hand man, Caleb, is very entertaining, but also is clearly the brains of the operation,
Yeah.
constantly telling Jeremy where he's messing up, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
And also I love that, Clarkson's like, oh, I need a tractor. I'm gonna get this giant Lamborghini because I know cars and love Lamborghini. And Caleb's like, this is too big. We can't do shit with this thing. It's just
Yeah.
so funny.
It's like that is like I mean that is such a fucking Clarkson thing to do, but it's so weird like seeing their tractors because like they have to get down the roads. So
Yeah.
like the tractors that we have, like especially this new one Dad bought recently, it's like I have trouble getting down Finley Road. So I'm just like trying to think like how that would be in
In the
England's
British
old
countryside.
yeah, in their old ass roads.
Yeah, absolutely. No pavement at all.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the scar face to my Wesker. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Hanging out, ready for the episode.
Hell yeah.
Before we get into the news, we do have a couple of comments here. So let's see here. First one is from Dan, who I'm sure is commenting this because we called him out on it. He says, I am just barely old enough to remember when Michael Keaton was first revealed to have been cast as Batman. At the time, Keaton was primarily known as a comedic actor, and the general consensus among my classmates and the denizens of the recently opened comic headquarters was this was a disastrous casting choice. My seventh grade class even contemplated inventing social media so we could fully express our outrage. My understanding is this feeling was widespread in the world. Flash forward 35 years later, and I would guess the current majority opinion, with which I concur, is Keaton turned out to be the best Batman ever. So there you go.
So
Appreciate that, Dan.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. The more I thought about it afterwards, I'd put him right underneath Bale. So I'd go Bale, Keaton, and then like I personally think Affleck did a like they both Pattinson and Affleck had like some shit that I really don't like. So it's hard for me to really, compare. Like, Affleck killed people and Pattinson had no personality. So it's like, do think, both boring, but then and then Kilmer and then Clooney. And then
Yeah.
Adam West would be like as far as like best Batman for what he was doing, Adam West would be like right under Keaton.
Yeah. I honestly didn't think about it after the fact, so I'll
Yeah.
just keep mine the same. But yeah, I appreciate that, Dan. It's nice to know how people were feeling about that at the time. And it makes sense because
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of, everybody thought the same about Ben Affleck in a way. Not that he was a comedic actor, but
Well, and then Pattinson too,
hmm
and then I bet there was shit about Bale that people were like, oh, how couldn't the guy from train watching or whatever, that skinny mofo, how could he be Batman?
You're right.
And like all that type of stuff. So, and then like I mean, for sure, there was stuff about not Jared Leto. Everyone was right about that one.
Yeah.
Uh, shoot, I'm blanking on his name now. The one from Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger?
Yeah, Heath Ledger. People were like, "No, this guy broke back Joker. No, thank you." And then it's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was awesome."
Yeah.
So,
There's always something.
yep.
I think, like, no matter what, as far as the Batman go, they all bring at least one good thing to the table.
Yep.
Even if it's not good overall, there's one thing you can appreciate about each of them.
Yep. Like George Clooney, even you can say like his uh his Bruce Wayne was good.
Yeah, I
That's like
agree.
I mean that's what he had going for him. Everything else is kind of whatever. But
And I remember Val having at least some good lines or maybe some good line delivery.
I
Uh,
mean, I still think honestly Val could have been a really good one had that not been like the worst, like just a terrible movie. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
yeah,
Because but I feel the same way about Batfleck and Battinson. Like I think those two can both still be awesome, but like what they were working with just wasn't Batman
yeah,
to me.
sure. All right, and then the other one is from Preston. Says, hey dudes, it's great to have you back, Casey. Missed you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Um, you talked about the possibility of MCU Young Avengers, and I just talked about this with Alex. They seem to have been trying to set this up for a while, but just haven't done anything with it. You had the guy who becomes Patriot in the Falcon and Bucky show. Kamala showed up at the end credits of Hawkeye doing the Nick Fury thing, talking about putting together a team with Kate Bishop. Shuri is Black Panther now and introduced Riri. We also got Scar out of left field and She-Hulk, which would have made so much more sense if it was meant to introduce another young hero for the team up. Lastly, no spoilers, we might have a new character introduced in the Daredevil show, which could be in the team. By the time Marvel makes the Young Avengers, these kids are going to be in their 40s. Um, yeah, I don't disagree. I really think all things were pointing to Young Avengers, and then what's his name? Bob Iger got back in charge and was like, "Nah, we're not doing any of this shit anymore. So
Yeah,
we're gonna bring back, Robert Downey Jr. instead." And then Preston goes on to say, "My pick for the Fantastic Four, which DC characters to absolute would be Constantine. Give me some crazy magic shit, or just make it the American Keanu version."
that one would be called Constantine. That's how they
Yeah,
would tell them
yeah,
apart.
absolutely. He says Swamp Thing, make him look more like a gator with the southern accent. Beast Boy, make him like a werewolf where he is enduring pain through the transformations. And the bigger the animal, the worse it gets it, and it's not quick. Okay, yeah, I get that for sure. And lastly, Batgirls, because I missed that team up. Fair enough. I do
Yeah.
too. So, all right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. We always appreciate hearing the opinions. And now we can talk about the news.
Yeah, you got me newsed out on this week, man.
I
So
do.
I'll just mention my one thing and then let you go. So this is a weird thing though, but it says according to Bloomberg, no other sources other than Bloomberg, Toho is working on a console Godzilla game. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, if it comes to fruition and if it's as good as the ones that came out whenever I was a kid. So I mean, I'd be excited.
So I'm pretty sure we talked about this once. Weren't you telling me that there's like a PS3 console game or something that's like crazy expensive?
So that's the one that we watched the Yahtzee video on where he's like, yeah,
Okay.
you know, like it's that one. And yeah, it's stupid expensive and it was funny because like it came out for 20 bucks when it came out. And so like I had told my brother, I was like, you know, Nick, I'd like that game. And I had told him about it, you know, and then he went to found it at Disc Replay or GameStop and he left the tag on. I'm like, I was looking at him like, dude, he spent 25 bucks. It only came out at 20. Like, what's he doing? And then like I did some Googling of it, or I'm in Facebook groups about it, and they're like, I'm looking for this game under $300, please. I'm like, what? It's like I told Nick because he did the like same thing happened with Return of Godzilla Blu-rays. Like those ones are insanely expensive now. I bet they might be going down since the Criterion bottom, but like people are posting online like over $100. I was like, Nick, I need to just like buy double what you buy me for like as a presents because like so far they're just like I could just speculate off of that because
hmm
you're batting 1,000.
Was that, do you know, was that PS3 one the last console Godzilla game that wasn't like, their Super Smash Brothers or whatever?
Yeah, as far as I know. So like I think they might have came out with like the Japanese version that came out a little bit later, but that was it. And I think it's actually for PS4,
Okay.
I think. Because like I'm still able to play it. That's why I say it, because my PlayStation's like backwards compatibility. Fuck you. And so they
Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of Godzilla, IDW announced an exclusive deal for their digital comics through Webtoon, and one of those is a Godzilla book. It's called Unnatural Disasters. Oh, let's see here. They're also doing some for Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, and They Called Us Enemy. And those are all set to come out on April 25th.
Hmm.
So, um, but obviously they plan on doing a lot more after that.
Yeah,
So, is that going to make you go digital to read that Godzilla book?
I might check it out. I mean, I've checked out a few things on that website before because there was like a DC was trying to do stuff on there and it kind of flopped, I think,
Yeah.
because you don't hear about it anymore. So, I mean, I was trying to read
Well,
those.
it might still be on there. I just think that they come out collected after the
I
fact.
gotcha. Because yeah, I mean, I was like when it first was coming out, people were like, yeah, and then lost interest pretty quick, and I have a feeling it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, also, J. Michael Straczynski is going to be doing a new monthly title for Marvel. They just haven't said what that is yet. So he wrapped up, I think it was like 16 issues of that Captain America recently. So I don't know. Who would you like to see him do at Marvel?
I mean, I'm not a big JMS fan personally, but I don't know. Trying to Fantastic Four, he could probably do that pretty well. I'm trying to think like something I know as far as I know, he hasn't done. And
Hmm.
he hasn't done them. So, because I was gonna say like first thought was like Thor or Spider-Man, but I'm like, no, he's done enough of those, especially
Yeah,
Spider-Man. He did like 15 years.
yeah. And I love his Thor so much that I almost don't want him to come back to it, you know.
Yeah. Him doing a Hulk. Get back to basics with Hulk.
Yeah. All right. So Diamond's debtors rejected Alliance's bid for Diamond in court. Um, I guess uh, some higher up from Alliance Entertainment went on a podcast where he leaked that they were going to shut Diamond down.
Yeah,
Uh, and it was like part of the whole deal because, they got bailout money that whoever bought them had to keep them going.
yeah,
Uh, so whoever that person was is kind of a fucking idiot. And it obviously got out pretty quickly. And so when it got to courts for the court to, make the final approval, it got rejected, which means it goes to the second place, which is a joint bid between Universal Entertainment and Ad Populum. So uh, apparently, Universal's business model is a lot closer to Diamond's anyway. So now we wait and see if that gets approved.
yeah. Um, oh, I had something I was gonna say. Like, how long do you think it'll take for him to get approved? Is there any
Well,
like timetable?
I mean, gosh, it's been what, 2 or 3 weeks
Hmm.
since the Alliance thing. So I don't know if it's going to be another 2 weeks or if it'll be a lot sooner than that. I mean, at this point, I don't care. Who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, they've got one or two publishers. I think Dynamite might be like the only one that they have that like Penguin or Lunar doesn't have at this point.
yeah,
Um, which like Dynamite absolutely has some great titles that I order for the shop, but it's like I can risk getting one publisher a little bit later. You know what I
yep,
mean? Thankfully, the others have everyone else. So,
yeah,
and then final bit of news, also very important, but it's looking like comic books will get to avoid those 104% tariffs from China. The US gave a list of exceptions, and printed materials and periodicals were on that list. The exceptions are driven by, Amendment, meaning, you know, things that represent freedom of speech can't be subjected to these. So it's good news for comic shops and customers,
Yeah,
and we'll see what happens with that.
yeah. Oh, so this is a little bit off subject, not news, but I just want to kind of share it with you. Have you watched the show? It's on Apple TV. It's just been canceled called Mythic Quest.
No.
So you might like it. They're like basically it's the Rob from Always Sunny. That's also like, friends with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
He he is like the head of like this dungeon like this video game company, and it's like Dungeons World of Warcraft, and him and his lead developer and stuff. It's this huge game, and they came out with like this anthology series called Side Quests, and then in one of them they're waiting for like the comic book of the game to come out to this comic book shop, and it's like none of the characters from the main show are there. It's just this like black comic book shop, and like that was like one of the things that kind of annoyed me. That was like she only gets one copy of the comic, and then she calls up the person, and she's like, "What the hell? Like if I was a white comic book shop, you wouldn't." I'm like, "No, that's what Diamond does." As I was
Yeah.
watching this, I'm like, "It has nothing to do with race. This is Diamond."
Yeah, dude, for real.
It's like the
Um,
most realistic part. You just had to toss that in there where it like doesn't even matter.
yeah. It's like unless your name's like Midtown.
Yeah,
That's what you
right.
should have said. If I were Midtown Comics, this would have been different.
Like, and the worst part too is like the people that were writing it clearly like knew nerd culture from like when we were in high school, where it was like very elitist, douchebaggy type stuff, and now it just seems like now people just get excited to talk about things they like, and it's not like you're not a real nerd.
Right.
Not that bullshit anymore. But maybe it is in other places. But even on Twitter where it sucks the most, it's like, no, they're pretty supportive if you like the shit.
Yeah. It's no longer like we'll name the title of five individual comic books. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know if I can name one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only time it's like that is when you're at a convention and you're like, hey, Mark, wait, what number is this book? He's like,
And
oh,
he'll
that's,
he'll tell you.
yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, that's this one. This has happened in this. You're like, oh, shit. Thought I could stump you.
All right. Well, that is it for the news. So, what comics did you read, buddy?
So my comics, I didn't come in, but when I was at my house, so I just read last week's stuff, and I'm holding my mic, so this is gonna be kind of neat. But I read Metamorpho, issue 4, JSA, issue 6, Batman Hush, 158. I mean, I don't know why I'm showing you because my screen's dark, so you can't really even see it. Godzilla, Fantastic Four. Now, I'm gonna say this: I like the Scotty Young variant, but the normal cover. It's so fucking cool. So 90s. Like it's got that, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Um, Long Halloween issue 6 of 10, Hulk 23, Martian Manhunter 1, Laura Kinney Wolverine issue 4, Red Hulk issue 2, Superman issue 24, Two-Face issue 6, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell issue 1 of 3, Helverine, issue 5, Godzilla Heist 2, and Daredevil issue 19. What about you, bud?
I've got Batman Dark Patterns number 5, Aquaman number 4, DC versus Vampires World War V number 8, Star Wars Jedi Knights number 2, Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 12, Batman and Robin 20, Uncanny X-Men 13, Daredevil 20, and Doctor Strange of Asgard number 2.
Nice. All right, so I'll just go through these really quick. Metamorpho by Al Ewing, Steve Lieber. Same issues I had last time. This one's better than the last issue. It was a little bit funnier. The jokes worked better, but it's still like I don't know if I'll love anything as much as Al Ewing loves to write way over explaining dialogue. So yeah, it's like I said, it's okay. Really don't want to keep reading it though. JSA issue 6 by Jeff Lemire and Oops, the artist. Um, so as I'm trying to find the artist, this is a fine issue. It wasn't anything, and but the end of it was stupid, like really dumb to me, because it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, maybe this character will stay dead. Oh, it's Diego Olortega on the art. It's like maybe this character will stay dead. Maybe he won't, but it's just dumb. I'm just not a fan of that type of stuff. So, whatever. Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee. The art's good. The story's kind of like, oh yeah, this is okay. I'm not hooked at all. Maybe I will be as it goes along. Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. It's fine. It's by Ryan North and John Romita Jr. Romita Jr. doesn't do too bad with Fantastic Four, and his Godzilla though. So I his Godzilla is not my favorite, and you can't see it. Gosh darn you! But it's oh it looks like he Googled a picture, and the first one that came up was the original American Godzilla. And when I say the original, I don't mean 1998's. I mean, so like there was a design that never got made. It was like I think it was going to be called Godzilla 3D, and they actually have like you can look up the designs. They've even made toys of it, and it looked like it looks neat, but that's like closer to what John Romita Jr. is doing. And I don't know, don't know why. Maybe it's just his art, but yeah. So it's and then like also since you can't see it, so I won't show you. But there's a part when like Ghidorah shows up and he's the silver Ghidorah. So it's like, come on, get something way more creative for cosmic powered Ghidorah. And then Godzilla gets Silver Surfer's cosmic power, and it's like, come on, make him look cooler. Like it's just like his stuff glows more. His fins. It's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do this dumb fan service, like commit, like the Power Rangers book did, you know? Okay, so this is Batman: The Long Halloween issue 6 by Jeff Loeb and Enrico Marina with Dave Stewart on the colors. And this art's really good. It fits more with the Tim Sale aesthetic, unlike some of the other ones that we've had. The story's pretty solid and it ends pretty cool. I'm enjoying this. Only way this book could be better is if Tim Sale was still alive. The Incredible Hulk 23. It was kind of funny because like I had already known what was going to happen because you had talked about it on the podcast where that guy's like, "Be my friend," and Hulk's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Uh, so that was funny, but I'm still like, I've said this multiple times. I'm just not super feeling the story. I'm interested in seeing where it goes, where they're going to see talk to Doctor Strange, but it's just like, man, I just want like a classic Hulk story. We haven't had that for years because Al Ewing started this and. Then we've had all this weird shit ever since. Absolute Martian Manhunter. It's weird. The art's great. I'm not super sure on how I feel about the story itself, but I dug it, and comparison to the other Absolute stuff, I think part of the reason that it helps is like I'm not as close to Martian Manhunter as I was to Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and and I didn't even read the others because I'm like I won't like it, but this one it's better that way. Oh, and that's by Diniz Camp and Javier Rodriguez. Then Laura Kinney, Wolverine, by Erica Schultz and Giada Belviso. Can we just like decide something as like a nation? There's no reason for people to hate mutants in the Marvel comics because it's like, yeah, we love Spider-Man, the guy that shoots webs out of his hands and can stick to walls, or Captain America, the guy that's super strong. Or the Fantastic Four, the rocky one, the invisible one, and the fiery one, and the stretchy dude. Love all of them. Like, oh yeah, what about the X-Men? Fuck them! It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I
come
agree.
on. So, yeah, I mean, because there's a part where they're driving through the Midwest and they stop to get gas and they're like, "You one of them dirty muters?" And they're like, "Don't use the hard R on us, sir." So I mean, like that stuff is just kind of like it's dumb and it's kind of filler, but then they go fight a Nazi, and that's how it ends. Like they meet their Nazi that they're supposed to fight, and the next issue they're gonna be fighting Nazi robots, which might be cool. But it's just like what was the point of like the majority of this book being like I hate them dirty muters. And then Bucky's just like kind of listening, like getting his like beef jerky because they're at a gas station, and like man, and then like this one guy's like, well, I don't think the muties are too bad, and like, what are you, one of them? I bet you are, and it turns out he is, and he's like, why did you guys start the fight? Because like Laura beats them up, and they're like, why did you start the fight? No, this is a small town. Everyone's gonna know I'm a dirty muter. It's just like, golly, guys, this is. I'm gonna give you one more issue because this is just stupid. And I mean, at least that's like comic canon. Like it wasn't something she just added in, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just dumb to me. Let us know down below. Do you agree with me, or you're like, no, no, no. The muters are pretty fucking bad. Okay, and then next up, it's the Red Hulk by Benjamin Percy and Jeff Shaw. Like it's not bad. I mean, you get Red Hulk teaming up. My main problem is like every time I read General Thunderbolt Ross's Red Hulk, he had control, and then this is more like I don't have control. I can destroy all this stuff, but he doesn't have his powers, and he teams up with Machine Man and Deathblock, which is like pretty dope, and they escape Doom's thing, and it's pretty neat that way. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the hell is going on with the One World Under Doom stuff, but like this is cool. I mean, it's Benjamin Percy, so it's like you kind of know what you're gonna get at this point where it's like, yeah, it's gonna be dumb and cool, and that's what this is. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Superman, A War on Two Fronts. It was good. This is Joshua Williamson and oh Barrows on the art is what it says there.
Yeah, Eddie
Eddie
Barrows.
Barrows, yeah. And really liked it. The end, you know, end was pretty wild, so I'm kind of excited to see how that goes for the next issue. Y'all should be reading it if you're not.
Remind
Two,
remind me what that is again, because I remember saying, "Oh, I don't want to spoil this for you."
oh, so yeah, to spoil it for everybody, um, there's a new Lex, and then Mercy has the heart of
Yes,
Metallo.
yes, yes, yes. That's right. That's right.
And also they had like the worst Justice League team. Like if it, it's just like, yeah, we need a heavy hitter. It's like, really? Why? Well, right now our heaviest hitter is either Vixen, the Creeper, or Hawk Girl. And we also have the two Beatles and Mr. Terrific. It's like, oh, that's why you need a heavy hitter. Got it. Because boy,
Hawk
howdy.
Girl's probably your heavy hitter there.
Yeah, I mean, if you, and like, especially if you're watching Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
But, but it's like, oh boy, let's see what the Creeper can do.
Dude, full disclosure, I have no idea what his powers are.
I think it's just like amped up stuff. Like he's not, because like I remember him in the animated series, loved him, and then like I'd read other stuff, loved him because he's just like he's a little unhinged, little Deadpool-y before Deadpool was a thing. Really cool, but still, it's like I would not put him on a Justice League team.
No.
It's like putting a Deadpool on an Avengers. It doesn't, no,
Yeah, he's the
don't do
wild
it.
card.
Yeah. Two-Face issue 5. It's by Ward. It's yeah. So it's by Christian Ward and Fabio Veras. It's fine. Like it's like I said last week. This is the best you can get from a Two-Face book. Which it's like it is what it is. It's not bad. It's good, but it's also not great. Nothing that's gonna knock your socks off at all. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, issue 1, Charles Soule, Steve McNiven. I get what you were saying about Steve McNiven. This is so much different than Civil War and The Death of Wolverine. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of Chris Burnham in his style in this. I liked it though. It was an interesting story. Really kind of just interesting seeing where it goes and all that. Who do you think the old dude is, by the way?
Dude, I don't know. I was hoping
Yeah.
you had some insight because I'm just like, I have no fucking clue who this is gonna
Yeah.
be.
Like my first guess was Bullseye because it's like obviously. And then my other guess was like when he was talking about the Shield and an old friend. This is like my out there guess too. Rick Jones. But I'm like, I don't know if Charles Soule would make Rick Jones into this weird, creepy, old evil man. That
Yeah,
seems a little much. So we'll just see.
yeah.
Helverine, it's still fun. It's Benjamin Percy and Raphael Enico, and yeah, he fights Mephisto in it, and he finally gets control over his Ghost Rider thing, and so then now it's like now it's finally his, and it's good. I like this series. My one complaint really is, and I can't really show you, is I don't really care for the Wolverine design because it's like there's like Ghost Rider looks awesome because he's wearing leather and he's got the skull and the skull's flaming behind him. This they do the Wolverine, you know, things here, and that's really all the fire. So it's just like a skull guy with the fire there and the fire claws. Looks less cool to me.
Yeah.
Then Godzilla Heist issue 2. Um, it's by Van Jensen and Kelsey Ramsey. And so they're trying to do their big heist in England. They get Godzilla there and all that stuff. And the art's okay. The story's also not too bad. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's got the Bob Eagleton cover, which you can't see, is great. And then also the variant covers are also pretty darn awesome too. They're like
Hmm.
they steal stuff from movies. And then lastly, Daredevil 19. You said it ended too quick. I don't think it ended too quick, but I also think it ended super fucking stupid. Because first off, the last issue, it's oh, I don't even remember what the demon was, but he got the demon expelled, and like in the background, it's just standing around. Like they
Yeah.
didn't actually get it out into hell. It's just like, oh, I'm just hanging out in the park now. But
Yeah.
and then in this issue, the other demon's like, oh, I've got this murderer and this really nice lawyer man, and I'm dropping them both. You better save one of them. And so he saves Foggy, which is what a cop would do. Anyone would, and he tried to save Bullseye too. But then it's like, Wrath won. It's like, no. What were you supposed to do? Let them both die? So you
Right.
weren't showing favor? It's like, no, no, this is what anybody would have done because there's nothing else you could have done. It's like you saved if it was something like in the TV show when he had the gun to Frank's head and he pulled the trigger, like that, and he had to actually kill Bullseye, be different. But he actually tried to save him. Like if he didn't try to, so that didn't work for me at all. He's like, I've just made myself go to hell. It's like, no, that's not how that works.
Hmm.
It was an impossible thing. Like you tried. Like your heart was in the right place, man. Like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I think it's okay for him to be messed up about it. It just needs to be in a different way.
And then and then also just the fact that Demon's like, I won. You saved your best friend and then your worst enemy died. I'm so glad I won. It's like, do you know what winning is, man?
Yeah. All right. So I'll start off with Aquaman number 4. It's by Jeremy Adams and John Timms. I want to show you the cool Marcio Takara variant cover. It's nice to see him get some variant covers.
That is awesome. I never really thought about him doing a Aquaman, but boy, that's fucking good.
Yeah, it works great, and his colors are just so awesome. Um, but yeah, I like Aquaman. I think it's cool. We see what Aquaman's new weapon is, and I like it. He does some cool shit with it. Um, and then yeah, I think next time he's probably gonna go confront what's his name, Dagon, who is in control of the blue. But I mean, this issue is pretty much just nonstop action, which I'm okay with. So I'm gonna give it an 8, and it's one that I look forward to whenever it comes out.
Nice.
Then we've got Batman Dark Patterns number 5, and it's by Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman. It's really good. I mean, a lot of this issue is just Batman talking to like this little girl and her mom in one of the apartments while he's trying to get the lay of the land. And then, we kind of figure out, I don't want to say anything. It's just shit regarding Scarface comes to light, is all.
Nice. I'm pretty excited about that because that last issue was bonkers awesome.
Yeah, I think you like this one too. This one's like that, except there's like really good character moments with Batman and that
Yeah.
family. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. Then we've got Ghost Spider number 12. It's by Stephanie Phillips and Von Randall. I like how all the A covers of this arc are meant to look classic. It's just
That is cool.
pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's still Loki and Gwen out in space. They go to this other planet, and it turns out whenever these like they test all the kids of this planet for like psychic powers when they're young, and if they have them, they're like taken away by the government and used to power their planet. And Gwen's like, well, fuck that. I'm shutting this down. And then it like shuts down the whole planet and fucks everything up. And then at the end, Phoenix shows up. And Stephanie Phillips is also writing the Phoenix book. And I follow her on TikTok. She puts a lot of good stuff out for like, hey, if you want to write comics, here's how it works. And like, here's how much money you can expect to make and blah, blah, blah. It's like really good information.
Yeah.
But she's been talking for a while how she's been excited for her two Marvel books to like cross over. So we'll see how that goes. But it's a good book. The art's really enjoyable. It's just weird and different. You know, you don't think of Gwen being out in space doing cosmic stuff. So pretty enjoyable. It also gets an 8.
Nice, man. See, I didn't even know you were reading that book. I forgot that.
Yeah. Well, just the issue before this started this arc.
I
I
got
was
you.
like, oh, Loki, I'll try it out. And then I
Right
ended
on.
up liking it. So all right, Star Wars Jedi Knights number 2 by Mark Guggenheim and art by Matabek Musabakov. Um, I mean, it's pretty cool. The art's good. We get to see Yoda, use a lightsaber a bunch in this, which is cool. And then we finally get to see, uh, the new bad guy, um, who on the cover is that guy with the mask on. So
Looks cool.
he looks cool. He goes toe to toe with Yoda in this, so that's pretty neat too.
It is he a Sith or is he just something
I don't
else?
I don't think so. I think
Okay,
he's
so
just something
didn't know if
else.
he had a lightsaber or not.
No, he uses this little staff thing that
Okay.
somehow, which I realize that whatever it is that the Mandalorians use, not Beskar, maybe it is Beskar, can
Preston will let
deflect.
us know.
Yeah, Preston will let us know, but I'm
Well,
pretty
okay.
sure.
Do
Mhm.
you remember the extended universe guy? He was green, had a ponytail, and he had fans that were like, because I remember there was a toy set of him fighting Vader, and I'm assuming the fans could block, or
Right.
because otherwise it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you gonna do against Vader? Yeah. I assume it's something similar to that,
Yeah.
but now it's pretty cool. He's basically just growing this alien army and they look like xenomorphs.
Oh, cool.
So this issue is just like Jedi's versus xenomorphs. It's pretty
That
cool.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's a good time. It's probably like a good 7.5, I think.
Nice, man.
I feel like the story's getting there. It's just like not quite there yet.
Yeah.
All right. DC versus Vampires World War V, number 8. And it's by Matthew Rosenberg and Otto Schmidt. But it's pretty cool. It's like all of those like cyborgs and robot hero characters kind of join the fight finally, since they were just at the end of the last issue. So they're there fighting the parademons and stuff. We get some stuff with Constantine and the House of Secrets. He's there with Spectre, Phantom Stranger, and Dr. Fate. And we kind of find out why they aren't able to step in and help. Um, they're kind of like Tinkerbell. It's like everyone's kind of forgotten about them. And that's where like the House of Secrets like comes into play. Like
Yeah.
you got to be thinking about it for it to show up and help you, and they're trapped in it, so they
I
just can't
gotcha.
fucking help. And I'm like, kind of cheesy, but also it's like these guys could handle the vampires no
Yeah,
problem, right? So they
exactly.
gotta do something. Um, but yeah, we get some Dead Man, which is cool. We find out who Batman is, so I'm about to spoil it. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear. It's Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, okay. Was that
So
was that like really cool when you read it, or were you like, oh,
not really. It just
yeah,
kind of like Green Lantern Alfred shows up and he's like, you shouldn't be wearing that. You know, like you're disgracing the man that wore that, uh, Al Ghul. And like he
oh,
just
okay.
says it casually like that. So I realized like it's supposed to be a reveal, but I was just like, oh, okay.
Would have been funny if he's like Jason Todd, and then he's like, no, no, I'm Raish, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, my bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still a good conversation because, Roz is like, oh, you have a problem with somebody, wearing a costume that's not theirs, Green Lantern. It's like, okay, well, he's
It's like
got you there.
he's like, not really. I mean, these are space police force, bud.
Right. It's
I
like
mean,
I
that's like,
mostly just have a problem with you.
yeah, it's like you're the one that's wearing someone else's clothes. I was just given a ring.
Um, so yeah, that happens, and then at the end, a boom tube opens up, and like a good couple handfuls of the new gods show up. Uh, and it looks like they're going to help the Green Arrow, Black Canary, and some of the other resistance. So it's like, okay, well, surely the new gods can take care of some vampires, but also like Darkseid's a big problem right now too, as he always is. So they might have some trouble with vampires and Darkseid.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's awesome. I always love this book. This is just, it made me realize like this is just so much better than the first series, even though I was really hot on the first series until it kind of petered out. I just think this is a lot better.
good.
And then the backup, it's a Wildcat story by Shane McCarthy and Fabio Veras. Uh, art is pretty awesome, but it's just Wildcat talking about how like his son's the only thing that matters to him and how they had a lot of time robbed from them. So he, you know, wants to find his son to keep bonding, I guess. And then as he leaves, his son shows up with somebody else. And then, of course, he smiles and he's got fangs. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of these backups, there aren't really happy endings. Like everyone just kind of
Hmm.
dies or gets turned, which I'm fine with. I think that's totally fine. But there's definitely going to be at least one more part. So we'll see what happens between Wildcat and Wildcat. But here's the thing. I thought his son Wildcat was like a
That's what I
cat.
thought too. So that's all, I was going to ask you about that.
No, he's just a dude.
Okay.
Um, but like, it's really fucking good though.
Yeah.
Like this could totally just be like in a Batman book.
Yep. I, now I'm curious. I like maybe he was a kitty cat and then he lost his powers and that's why he's not in the new JSA book and they have the lady how Wildcat.
Yeah, that very well could be. It's like DC just wanted to forget his son after that Stargirl TV show, you
Yeah, I think
know?
that the Stargirl TV show messed up a lot of the stuff for the JSA, I think. Jeff Johns is like, hand hold my beer, guys. I got some great ideas.
Right?
Children versions. They're like, Okay, Jeff, I guess, since you're the boss.
Yeah, I'm still gonna give that book a 9. It was really good.
Good.
Okay, Batman and Robin 20. Um, it's by Philip Kennedy Johnson, but there are multiple artists on this. There's Hugo Petrus, Miguel Mendonca, and Junie Ba. I'm excited for you to read this because there's 3 artists because one artist is Thomas Wayne's journal
Oh,
artist.
nice.
And then there's the regular stuff. And then, Bruce finds Damien's like self-made manga books. That's what Juniba
Okay,
does,
nice.
and it works really well.
Awesome.
Um, story is also very cool. Bruce is still really fucked up from, I don't know, whatever he was hit with that was making him like hear Alfred and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like a fear toxin, but
Yeah.
like amplified.
So he's still dealing with that. And then, potentially reading part of Damien's journal helps him out with the current case. And then it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So um, I think it's very good. It's honestly like a 9 or a 9.5. I think this book is like for a few issues has caught its stride, but it's still just
Hmm.
like chugging along. It's really good
Yeah.
stuff. Uncanny X-Men 13. It's by Gail Simone and David Marquez on the art. Half of this book is like it's like civil rights era. Like there's definitely still segregation. So there's like a whole thing with um I don't know who the lady is, but she's like dealing with segregation and also mutant segregation as well. So pretty interesting stuff. And then the other half of the book is a half-naked Gambit teaming up with that dragon that shows up in the first issue. That's finally come back around,
Nice.
and they fly off to the Savage Land and like have an adventure. So it's pretty cool. The art is just like David Marquez is really fucking good. And then, oh, also the kids leave to like follow the weird half dead kid who's just being very cryptic. And the place that they go to has something to do with the prequel stuff with the Black Lady.
Okay.
So it all makes sense. It's like it sounds like a lot is happening in this issue, but Gail Simone's a good writer and it works just fine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the character that shows up at the very end is a character you think is cool, and I have no doubt that you'll be even more excited for the next issue.
My only problem really with that book is like I really don't care about them kids. I want like that X-Men team is such an A tier X-Men team, and then it's like let's have a focus on my characters, and I'm like let's not.
I understand. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
However, I can't really think of an X like a core X-Men title, even though I haven't read that many. I still understand this happens in all of them. You
Yeah.
got the main ones, and then they're introducing new ones too that you don't care about. So it's just what they do in these X
I'm
books.
I mean at least in Jed McKay's he's really not so far. I mean there's been like new mutants that are like there, but they're not the main
Well,
focus. Like they're just rescuing them, you know what I mean?
true, but it could be a thing where it's like editorial realizes that Gale's doing it. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we'll let Jed do what he wants,
Yeah.
and Gale can do that shit in her book. Oh, honestly, probably like an 8.5 or a 9. I think it's a really solid issue.
Right on, dude.
All right, Daredevil 20. It's by Saladin Ahmed and Jose Luis Suarez. Um, and like you see this from the cover, but Daredevil gets with an X. Uh, and I have no clue who she is. I
Neither
have
do I.
absolutely no idea who they're
Yeah,
talking about.
like I'm not the like I love Daredevil, but I'm not going to pretend to have like a lot of Daredevil knowledge and like especially not that era.
Yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like you and me, it was like it's been probably been 10 years now, but we just found out about that costume, 10 years ago.
Hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, this character's fine. And he's like, they have a moment where he's like thinking about Elektra because she won't talk to him, and that's really where he wants this emotional output to go to. Um, and she's just like, look, we're just two adults having a good old time. When I need to kick you out the door, I'll do just that. And then he's like, oh, okay, I guess I won't feel so guilty for banging this chick then. Um, but yeah, anyway, he puts back on the black armor, which by the way, the art fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, that black armor, we used to make fun of it, but no, it is pretty darn cool. Like the shoulder pads and thigh pads are dumb, but it looks
We
cool.
Yeah, we used to make fun of it, but I've always genuinely liked it.
Yeah, it's just like the shoulder pads and the thigh pads make no sense,
Agreed. Or
but the color scheme is
the
awesome.
the side of the calf. It's like, what's that? What's that
Yeah,
protecting? Like a
it's like
side kick?
it's like you don't know how many times stick hit me there.
Right. But I like how Ahmed explains that he's like, my other skin, no matter how many, or my other skin, my other costume, no matter how many times I've washed it, I can still like I was just covered in blood and I can feel all that dry blood just like tickling my skin and I just don't want to wear it right now. It's like, okay, works for
Fair
me.
enough.
Let's put on this cool black armor.
Yeah,
Um, but anyway, like someone goes missing or something, so he's like trying to find who it is while all this is happening. And like something happens to all the people that go missing, and then at the end that starts to happen to him too. I won't tell you what it is, but it happens and it looks fucking crazy. And it's like shit. I don't know where this is going, but I like it and I'm on
yeah,
board. So
nice.
yeah, probably another nine. There's just a lot of good shit out this week. I've enjoyed most of it.
I'm hoping that this isn't like the last series though, where like it's awesome, 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 and then you're like, "Oh, that's how you're ending it, bud."
Yeah, I
That's like
hope
my
so
only.
too.
That's now my only worry with Salin Ahmed because he's killing it on Wolverine. Now I'm like, ending of this arc's coming up.
Hmm.
I hope it's better than Daredevil one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But it's like, even if I don't love how it wraps up, I'm still more than happy to keep reading his books
Of
because it's
course,
better than most stuff being put out.
absolutely, and like the ride is still better than most books coming out. So
Hmm. All right, and then my final book is Doctor Strange of Asgard #2. It's so funny, and one of the comic news sites put out an article that was like, "There's only one World Under Doom title out this week, and it has nothing to do with it, and it's this Doctor Strange book." It's like, why
nice.
are they like? I get that he stole the Sorcerer Supreme thing from him, but this book never mentions anything to do with Doctor Doom right now.
I mean,
So,
this is his Rocky arc, though. This is him training in the Russian snow so he can get back, and take it
yeah,
back.
yeah, you're right. But it's by Derek Landy and art by Carlos Magno. And just like the first issue, man, I really dig it. I think the art's pretty cool. Um, he gets a job at like essentially the Asgard doctor's office. He's just like, everyone in Asgard's always getting drunk and fighting, so he's just like stitching up knife wounds and stuff like that. Because he got to pay rent, and he has to tell somebody that they're like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that magic lady that died last issue. He has to tell somebody that she's dead because everyone's like, hey, where's our magic lady at?
Yeah.
But anyway, as they go to hide the body, essentially, Doctor Strange gets attacked by an assassin with a very cool axe. But the assassin gets away, not with the axe, and Strange is like, I needed one thing and now I have it. My first clue. So we'll see where it continues, but I like it a lot. Strange looks cool. I like his Asgardian coat, and the art and everything with it is also super cool. So I'm also gonna give that one a nine. it is really hard for me to pick one book this week for my pick of the week because honestly, like five of them could probably
Yeah,
be it. So I really don't know.
fair enough, man. I have a question about this, about the book. Since you're a big Thor fan, are you like, does this like other spot in Asgard that we don't see very often? Are you enjoying seeing that? And does it seem like, accurate to what you think it should be?
Yes, and yes. I am
Nice.
enjoying seeing that because the most we get is like, oh, Thor's King of Asgard. Here he
Yeah.
is in the main hall. It's like, no, we get to see the citizen. And Strange is like, it's like, yeah, Asgardians are like built built different from humans, but really they're just a little bit bigger and stronger. He's like, they still like suffer knife wounds and stuff, so I should
Yeah.
be a pretty good doctor here too. Um, so yeah, like seeing like the doctor's office and like, the tavern and just some of the roads that they're walking on while they're talking. It's like, man, I like it here. It's cool.
Yeah. I thought so. I was just like, I better check.
Yeah.
So, buddy, what you excited about then?
I'm gonna go with probably Zatanna. Uh, and I hate to say challengers and new gods every time. So I'll go with DC Sonic number two and probably Wolverine.
Yeah. I'll go X Factor, Godzilla versus Hulk, and let's say I might go with Titans. I'm thinking about checking that out and dropping Nightwing because like I haven't been feeling this stuff, but Titans are bringing back Slade Wilson and it's written by John Layman. So
Hmm.
like I'm like I might check that out. So I'll go with those three.
Nice.
So Fantastic Four, and this is like the first time he's written for DC in a good while, hasn't it? And Layman,
Probably since the New 52, yeah.
yeah. All right, Fantastic Four. So C2E2 was this weekend. Neither of us went. Um, but I was just thinking, give us four of your favorite things you've gotten from conventions before.
Yeah. Um, one of the early times we went, I didn't take a lot of stuff to get signed, but I had like an autograph book. I just wanted these writers and artists to sign their name in this book. And so many times the artist would sign it and then just sketch something in there for free.
Yep.
And I really don't think that that would happen anymore. I think they would happily sign your autograph book and hand it back to you because of how it is now. It's not the same as the good old days, right?
Man,
But there were, mhm.
just speaking of that, because I remember you and me, so we had the VIP pass and we got to meet oh, what's his name? Amazing artist. He does
Adam
like
Hughes.
Adam Hughes, and he fucking just did a sketch, but it was like lines. Like that's how like he just bloop 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 bloop. I'm like, how the hell does this look like a Wonder Woman? I saw you just make five lines.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I just told John that story the other day, and for those listening, because we had VIP tickets, we got an exclusive signing with Adam Hughes, and he was like 20 or 30 minutes late to this thing. So he finally shows up and he's like super nice. Like, I'm so
Mhm.
sorry I was late. Like these shows are just crazy. Uh, you know, let's start signing stuff. And we get up there and he just does sketches for us for free because we had to wait 20 or 30 minutes. So in
Yeah.
case you got the Wonder Woman in my little book, I've got a Poison Ivy.
Yeah, and it's dumb. Like it's dumb how good he is. And it's the same thing
Mhm.
with you got me the New Frontier book. That's
Mhm.
got the Darwin Cook autograph with the picture. And
Yep.
that again, I'm like, I know he just did lines, but somehow it looks amazing. Like I don't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it.
So a lot of good things from conventions is artwork.
Yes.
So let's see, like another example, when I met Kenneth. Rockefort. I just handed him my book and he was like, "Who do you want me to draw?" And I was like, "What now?" So I was like, I was cosplaying as Red Hood because I was reading uh his Red Hood book during the New 52. And so he drew me a Red Hood, and I think I even got a Nightwing from him that show later on. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff that's not art related.
That's usually the majority of what we spend our money on, though.
Yeah, it really is. I remember um, this one booth had buttons just for like any nerdy shit you could think of. And I bought probably 20 buttons because he had a bunch that were all like Super Smash Brothers related. Uh, and I just couldn't pick a couple. I
Yeah.
And like obviously they were cheap buttons or whatever. It's like 50 cents a button, but I still remember spending like $10 at this booth because I loved all those damn buttons and I've
Yeah.
still got a lot of them. Uh Man, is there something like blatantly obvious that you know I should be saying that I'm not?
I mean, I don't know if this ranks up there for you, but you, like me, have done celebrity appearances and gotten like pictures taken with people you really like
Yeah, that's true.
and autographs too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually do the celebrity thing unless it's somebody I really wanted to meet. So, you know, Zachary Levi was big. Laura Bailey was big. And then,
Stamp
Sean
man.
Bean. Yeah, Sean Bean, Stan the Man Lee. So, uh, all pretty good experiences. Not so much Stan, but the others were a little more enjoyable. So,
Yeah, in all fairness, that was like Stan's last convention, and the line was like fucking insane.
yeah.
So, like I get it. He was like in his 90s too. He's like, I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah, I know. I know. I bet it did suck.
Um,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, man.
no, I just want to say, like, since your grandpa does kind of look like Stanley, can you guys recreate that photo one of these days?
Dude, have I told you about all the times people have confused or just said, you look a lot like Stan? Like it happens all the time
Dude,
for
I
him.
was I was there at Free Comic Book Day, and someone and like people were saying that, and yeah, and he told my dad, and my dad was like, "You do know he's like in his 90s, right? Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
feel happy about that." He's like, whatever."
Yeah. It's so fun. Like anytime it happens, he calls me and tells me, so what happened again?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd start with like the pictures that I like from meeting the two of the Millennium Godzillas, and then also meeting oh, what's his name? Ultraman. Because it's
Hmm.
like when I met the two Millennium Godzillas, one, like the one that was in Godzilla 2000 and the SOS and all that, he was much more reserved. But then like the GMK one, like, and you could tell like in the picture, he was a maniac and he had so much energy. So like he then brought that out of the other guy too, which was cool. And then also like even though I couldn't speak anything that they were saying, the Ultraman one is like the coolest man on the planet. Like I'm assuming it'd be like the same thing as meeting he's an old pro at these conventions too. Like he had his business card. He had like he would teach you how to do the Ultraman pose. Like if you're even remotely an Ultraman fan and he's at a con close to you, you need to meet him. Like it was super cool. Like Mike, if you're listening, if you get a chance, I think he's gonna be at All Monsters Attack in Chicago. You should go. Like just say, "See ya, kids and wife. I'll be back in about 12 hours." Because I mean, it really is like it's super cool meeting him because he is the most like charismatic, cool person I think I've ever met. Like at least top five after Jake for sure. But um, and then like I mean, last year I got a bunch of like just cool, random, weird toys that I've gotten, like that are Godzilla related that I couldn't get anywhere else. So that's like really high up there for me. And then commissions, like, I've gotten the different shades done, which I think is really cool. But I've also just gotten like a Blue Beetle, Novas, all this type of stuff. Really great. And then I'll go with so I already knew that this book existed, but like just getting comics like from the actual person. overly collected. Like I got that Kaiju Max that was the hard extra hardcover from Xander Cannon himself, and he explained it. And then he even drew a picture in there and autographed it for me, which was really really cool. He didn't have to do all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I know it's also art related, but some of the prints I've picked up are
Yeah,
just some of my favorite pieces of artwork that I have up. You know,
100%, man.
there was two people in particular. One did they're up in my dining room, but it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's like Aang or not Aang, sorry, it's Zuko, Azula, and Iroh, but they're styled like playing cards, where the top one facing left is them at the beginning of the series, and the other one facing right at the bottom is them at the end.
That's
And it's
pretty
just
cool.
so cool to see those all together.
Yeah,
And then another one just did this hyper stylized like Western Air Temple and like the Hogwarts Castle and uh like Ciri from The Witcher. Just very like I know they're all fantasy pieces, but this is like super fantasy styled.
yeah,
And
like the old fantasy books, like how they would have those like really painted
yes,
nice covers like that.
yes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like three of my favorite fandoms. Like I have to just get all three.
Yeah,
And you know, whenever you do that, they're always like super thankful and like, we'll usually give you a deal on the third one or whatever. So it's just nice.
yeah. And I mean, for the most part, I've had some turds, but for the most part, when you talk to these artists that are selling stuff, I mean, I know they're just selling stuff to you, but they are super gracious and super nice and,
Hmm.
good to talk to,
Yep.
even if you're a weird, weird, awkward guy like me. I really like this. Like, oh, thank you. What, are you having a good con? Yeah, thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, man. What do you want the people to let you know down below?
Let us know about some stuff from your con going experiences, and if you haven't let us know about your Batman rankings, let us know that.
Hmm.
And I don't know, let us know when should we record the Spider-Man episode of our Sony off.
Yeah, we uh we desperately need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched Spider-Man 1 now probably about 4 times because when I was in hospital, it played a lot.
Oh shit, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
like prior to that, I had watched it once, and then it was like, well, and it was like, oh no, I'm like, well, I got this down. I got some great talking points, especially about Mary Jane's hands. So we'll get into that.
I'll make a note to finish it because I started it like right before it was literally the week that you had to all your stuff happen. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I'll start it now. And then we got a bit delayed,
yeah,
so
just a
I'll
bit.
finish it. So, all right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week, and we'd love to stay in chat, but we gotta go take over an apartment building and drive Batman a little crazy. So we'll catch you next time. See you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at two_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.